Did you know Ben Gleib is running for president of the United States? That's right, that guy, Mr. Gleib. He's a comedian, and he shows up on Young Turks and some other stuff, and he's been kind of a TV star in some things, and he's running for president, and his entire platform, a constitutional amendment for women's right to choose. Now, some of you might be surprised when I say I might agree with him on that. Let's hear what Ben has to say about this.
Hello, I'm Ben Gleib, and I'm running for president.
How you doing, Ben?
I personally would never have an abortion because I physically cannot.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you're a female identifying as a male or a trans, maybe you could have an abortion if you're a man, but you seem to be biological male. So we're going to assume that what you say is correct. You actually cannot have an abortion.
And that's the whole damn point.
Is it now? Well, the whole point is that men shouldn't have a say.
Men need to stop making decisions about women's bodies.
What about women making decisions about men's bodies with respect to if she wants to have a baby and he's not ready to be a father? He doesn't get to choose, does he? He just gets to pay. How about men's reproductive rights, Ben? Can you think of any candidates over the last forever that have come out and said, I'm going to do this for men. I'm going to do anything for men. Anything. Well, okay, Donald Trump's going to bring jobs back, make America great again. Okay, fine. But for the vast majority of presidential candidates, certainly in recent history, oh, the women's are so oppressed. Go and vote for me and I'll fix. Men are just ignored. Even though we are actually half of the voting public. Oh my God. But Ben, I'm sorry. I digress. Continue.
That should be obvious.
Yeah.
When we let women decide when a man gets a vasectomy, maybe then we can have this discussion again.
Wouldn't it be fair though, Ben, if women can have an abortion or have a baby or take an morning after pill or an RU486 or God only knows, use contraception. All of these things, they have all of these rights, all of these things they could do. And yet if she wants to have a baby, a man cannot financially abort. I'm not ready to be a father, Hey, I don't want to be a father. Tough shit. Tough shit. When are we going to do something about that, Ben? Or are we going to talk about men's rights at any time, now, today, in the future, sometime? Men count for something,
Until then, our country needs to stop arguing over an issue that has been the law of the land for over 46 years.
I agree. It is about time to put this sucker to bed. I'm tired of talking about it every 4 years. Pro-life, pro-abortion, women's right, and all this. Let's settle it. I agree. You know what else we should settle, Ben? We should settle the wage gap, which for longer than Roe versus Wade, 1963, has been the law of the land. I wonder why feminists keep bringing that myth up. But again, I digress.
We have to move on. No more states passing archaic laws criminalizing something we decided decades ago.
We didn't decide, man. You see, that's part of the problem, and part of the reason I agree with what you're going to say here coming up. The Supreme Court decided there was a constitutional right to an abortion. Men and women, voters did not have a say in this particular issue because it's part of the Constitution, according to the Supreme Court in Roe versus Wade. In other words, Ben, no matter which side of the aisle you're on, people do not have a say in this topic. People really don't like that very much.
It's time to stop it already. It's time to stop using women's bodies for political gain and giving more rights to an embryo the size of a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice, however, doesn't turn into a baby. Yeah, I know.
Than to a grown adult woman.
A grown adult woman who has 18 forms of birth control, cheap, readily available, or even free, plus a condom, plus a morning after pill, plus an RU486, plus abortion, plus adoption, plus dropping the child off at a fire station for the, safe harbor, whatever it's called, or she can have the baby. She has every possible choice available. Men, their one choice is to not have sex.
That's just common sense.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm proposing, in addition to a new law, to reverse the federal ban on funding for abortion services.
No. This is where I disagree. No. If you want to be a free, independent woman, you go girl, fishes, bicycles, all that shit, and you get yourself knocked up, that's your fucking problem. You pay for it. The government should not force people who are against abortion to pay for it. That's why we have the Hyde Amendment. But go on.
And a new law guaranteeing access for women nationwide. I am proposing a constitutional amendment, irrevocably protecting women's right to choose.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the idea, Ben. But the honest truth is you're never going to get that to pass. You need 37 states, and at least 12 or 13 or 14 states have already tried to restrict abortion. So you're not going to get that, okay? That's not going to happen. I'm not saying it's a waste of time. You certainly can try it. But the Equal Rights Amendment suffered a similar fate, right? So I don't think you're going to get there. However, there is another option. Let's talk about it.
Forever. Because we should protect people as much as we protect guns.
Except men. See, men have no reproductive rights. But fuck them. You know, even though half of your voters, Ben, will be male, you know, can you throw them a bone? Maybe something once in a while.
That might sound crazy, but I believe it. And if you do too, I ask that all women and men watching this sign this petition.
No. See, men have no say in this matter. It's all women. So women have to do something here. Women have to do it. Because men, as you just got done saying a couple of minutes ago, why do we have a say in this? We shouldn't. Well, there you go. Women can do it. Women can get the petition going.
Because the fight for a woman's right to choose shouldn't just fall on women.
But it's their right. So why shouldn't it just fall on women? So what you're saying is men shouldn't have a say over what happens with a woman's body. Except if men vote for abortion, then they should have a say. Is that right, Ben? That's interesting. I guess it's convenient to have men voting for stuff you want.
Most women support their own reproductive rights. That just makes sense.
There's a fairly big chunk of women in the United States that are not pro-abortion. Now, I know, Ben, in your world, Hollywood, and wherever you hang out, everybody you run into has probably had a half a dozen abortions and are vehemently in favor of abortion. But there's a big thing, a vast middle of the country. You know, other people live there that don't necessarily agree with you, Ben. I know, it's hard to believe.
But for us to win this, we need all of us to stand up and fight.
Nope. Not gonna do it.
I'm proposing the most serious action to protect women's rights of any of the male candidates for president.
Just give it time. They'll get more extreme as the election goes on.
But I can't fight for it if I'm not on that debate stage.
Yeah, well, maybe you and Kristen Gillibrand can have a debate backstage, because neither of you are going to get there.
So I ask, please go to Gleib2020.com and donate even just $1. And if I get to that debate stage, I promise to continue to be the strongest male advocate for women in this election.
The blue pill simpage is thick with this one. So, Ben, here's an alternative plan. This is one we could do. Not with messy constitutional conventions and all of this other, happy garbage. Next presidential election, 2020, put a national question, national referendum on the ballot. Should we have legal abortion in the United States, yes or no? Problem solved. Let people vote on it. Because after all, you believe your side has the majority. So you shouldn't be afraid to have people vote on it. Right, Ben?
Let's end the war on women together.
Yeah, let's do that. National referendum. Let's vote on it.
And please, sign this petition for a constitutional amendment to protect a woman's right to choose.
Get a petition going for a national referendum, a vote on abortion. That's going to be more successful and more possible than a constitutional amendment. I might sign that petition, Ben, if you get that going. Link below, James Maxwell. Thank you for listening.